Hi, this is Andrew Gurza, host of Disability After Dark, the podcast shining a bright light on sex and disability. Growing up as a person with cerebral palsy, living my life as a wheelchair user, and being super queer has led me down a very unique path of self-discovery to a place where sexuality and disability intersect, and I want to share what I've learned on that journey with you. Join me each week as I share stories from my own life as a queer disabled person, interview other disabled people about their sexuality, or as we talk about sex and disability in pop culture. You can download new episodes each and every Friday on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, and Spotify.
Hello and welcome.
Welcome back
to season 3
of the Perhaps It's You podcast. I almost said the Unsolved Mysteries podcast. This is gonna be rough.
Wow, Samantha.
We're super rusty.
Get your head in the game.
It's never gonna be in the game again.
That's how I feel. Unofficial Unsolved Mysteries rewatch podcast starring Liz and some other person who can't get it together. No, it's Liz and Samantha.
Typical.
And we're back.
We're back.
We had a little hiatus.
A big hiatus, but here we are.
You know what? We fucking earned that hiatus.
Yeah.
Samantha got married.
Oh my god.
She moved in her house.
Is that what happened? Yeah. Woo, you guys.
She's a ghost of her former self.
Yeah. Last month was a month, let me tell you. My brain is mush. I don't know if I'll ever recover.
I'm just glad you're alive.
Me too.
And that you're here. Yeah, life in the United States of America
has
been brutal and terrible, and I do not recommend it to anyone ever. Give me all the 1-star reviews you want. I don't care. Nothing matters anymore. So we're going to be starting off. If you've never listened before, we watch along with Amazon Prime. We do each episode.
Yep.
Like the loyal Unsolved Mystery citizens that we are.
We didn't even skip the fucking Alcatraz episode.
No.
That's how dedicated we are,
do them
people.
All. So now we are starting off season 3, episode 1. But I had to watch this episode, like, in between hearing news about Brett Kavanaugh, and I was not in a good mood, and I was not in a good place for it. I was literally, to get myself to do this, I was lying in bed, I was eating chocolate-covered Oreos, watching Unsolved Mysteries. I should have been having the time of my life. Nope, still mad as hell. Blood literally, like, I felt hot, because I was so angry, and all I could see was red.
Yeah, that's been rough, you guys.
So did I research any of these things? No. Do I actually care?
Do I even have notes? No. I actually had to have Liz print me the Unsolved Wikis for mine. This is the situation, you guys.
Samantha is usually the one that's really prepared, and then I'm like last minute scrambling. Like she shows up, even though she comes to my house, I'm like last minute scrambling. I'm like, oh, I left the things upstairs. Oh, where's my notebook? Oh, we have to do this thing with Lenny. Blah, 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 blah. And then this week she's like, I don't know. Who's Robert Stack?
Pretty much, I forgot that I had another mystery at the end that I had to cover. It's been rough, you guys.
I think Samantha just really wanted my satanic arson murder, so I was like, oh you did the second and fourth one, and she was like, the arson? And I was like, no.
But is the second one really a mystery? Because it's kind of like an update, and maybe we just skip that one. I'll do the satanic art. No.
Yeah. So and I was like, no, Samantha, you'll do the second and the fourth one. Fall in line.
We play by the rules here at Perhaps It's You.
Okay. But since things have been absolute trash garbage, I have devoted myself fully to Halloween and fall. You didn't think I could take it up a notch? I didn't think I could take it up a notch, and I have. That's all I've been doing.
This is true. It's quite true.
It's all I've been doing. It's all I care about. I do not know what I will do with myself once the season is over.
If you want to follow along with Liz's Halloween adventures, follow us on Twitter. Liz runs the Twitter. You can see what she's up to, what ghost tour she's going on today, what pumpkin patch she's visiting.
I'll talk about that a little bit more in my updates, but since so many of us were so upset, we had a lovely fall day yesterday where we went to apple orchards and did all this wholesome shit, but Samantha couldn't go because she had to move things.
Yeah, it was terrible.
And I got her a surprise.
I'm so excited.
So now it's literally under a cloth.
Do I get to open it now?
I think we should start off on a good note, and you should open the surprise.
Oh my god. Okay, so I'm going to just describe it for you guys. It's like an oblong shape. It kind of looks like a small dead body. There is a towel over it. The towel has some embroidery. I'm very excited.
That's not the surprise. That's just covering
I'm going to slowly reveal what it is. What? Oh my god, you guys, it's the polar water. I keep seeing in our fucking page. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. What is this? Yeti Mischief.
So, if you don't know, Samantha's obsessed with polar
Dragon
water.
Whispers.
And they made these, like, mythical creatures ones that we couldn't find anywhere.
Unicorn Kisses.
And then yesterday, I went to this gigantic candy store.
Did you find these there? Okay, so I'm going to drive the 2 hours to get there.
And after I had already filled up my basket with an obscene amount of candy, I was about to check out. I looked in this refrigerator case to get a Clearly Canadian, my favorite, and saw... holy shit, they have the polar waters. And then I proceeded to just fill...
How did you keep this a secret?
My basket. I had to bribe everyone that was with me with a polar water. To not tell you. And then I, like, get up to the cash register, and the, like, teenage girl that worked there was like, oh, do you really like these? And I was like, no, I never had them before. But I've been looking for them everywhere. And she was just kind of like, okay.
All right.
I think I need a box.
There's also Mermaid Songs and Minotaur Mayhem. Like, which one should we try?
I don't know. They're also not cold, if that matters to you.
They're local. I'm going to try the Unicorn Kisses. Do you want to try one?
Sure.
Do you want to try the Yeti Mischief?
I'll try Yeti Mischief.
Okay, we're going to try it. This is a
No,
live...
I want to try the Minotaur one.
Minotaur, okay. Minotaur. This is... what does unicorn taste like? I have no idea.
I have the most of those. I don't know.
More?
Yeah. I have a couple more. Well, the thing is, I filled up the rest of my basket with these. And then was so excited, I was, like, giving them to everyone. I thought I had 2 of all of them, so we could each have... That's not true anymore. Because I got, like...
You were just too excited?
Too excited.
Oh, my God.
And really, I probably would not have bought half the crap I already was going to buy if I knew this was there, but I saw this last.
And you were committed. All right, we're going to try. I'm trying the Unicorn Kisses.
Okay. I'm going to try Minotaur Mayhem and try not to drink into the microphone.
Oh my god, this is delicious.
What does it taste? What does it taste
It
like?
kind of tastes like strawberry. What does yours taste like?
Okay, Minotaur Mayhem is a citrus.
We're gonna trade.
Okay. We could do one at the end too.
It's good. It kind of tastes like Sprite. The Minotaur kind of tastes like Sprite.
Delicious.
Yeah, the unicorn is really good.
Okay, people will not believe this is not paid.
Not sponsored. Although Polar, if you're listening, fucking call me.
We will work for free.
I will
polar
sell
water.
the shit out of your polar water.
I paid for these with my own fucking money. Because I was really in a thing where I was like, I don't care. Yup, I'll take that. Do I need apple cider donuts? Do I need sweet potato butter?
I cannot think of
blue popcorn. And like, I was like, yup.
The worst place for me to go, and I'm sure this probably applies to a lot of people that are in this current headspace, is the world's largest candy store. I can't even admit. I would fucking be like, I'd come home and be like, Travis, our life savings is gone.
Okay.
I just was at the world's largest candy store. I'm not
proud. I spent $90.
I believe it. I would easily drop 100.
I completely filled up a basket. A lot of that, I want to defend myself and say a lot of that was presents. Actually, this morning when I got up and I was like, why didn't I get more candy for myself?
Well, we'll just have to go back because I'm gonna fucking stock up on this
literally
polar
bought
water.
all the unicorn that they had left. I just scooped it because I just assumed that was the best one.
It is delicious. It
there
tastes
was
like strawberry.
also one called Pixie Lights. I didn't buy any of because no one else had, and that made me think it was bad.
Oh yeah, probably. It's probably like the key lime LaCroix.
That's what I don't know. But it also had the least cute can, so maybe that was why.
Maybe.
But they're only 99 cents, so...
Oh my god. This is the best surprise ever.
I'm
so happy.
I was really like, no one tell Samantha. I'm gonna surprise her.
They did a good job keeping the secret. I'm so happy right now. Yeah, I've seen these. A few people have posted these. They must live somewhere where they can get this polar water. It's impossible. I was at CVS today because CVS sells the Seltzerade. Or at least they used to, but now there's Halloween stuff where the Seltzerade used to be, which I'm not complaining about. But my blueberry seltzer water is no longer at my CVS, and I'm pissed about it. So
well, see,
this
I
made my
have
day.
been walking around this. It seriously is giant. It's a converted barn and silo, and the silo is mostly full of Japanese candy, which I love.
Yeah.
So that's dangerous in and of itself. So I was wandering around like, oh, I'm sad Samantha didn't come. What should I get Samantha? And I found this tin of alien candies.
Yeah, this is adorable.
And I was like, I don't even know if Samantha would like this candy, but I'll just get it because it's in this like cute alien tin, right? Well, you know, whatever. I don't know that she'll like this. And then when I saw the polar waters, I was like, fuck yeah.
Oh my god.
This is the best possible gift for. This is what I should have got her for a wedding, just a case. It was like, here's
and it would be the best wedding gift ever. I'm opening the little alien candies.
Mischief polar water, Samantha. Happy marriage.
Oh my god, that would be the. Oh, this is the best.
I didn't think of it until right now. That would have been great.
Well, where would you have gotten it? You would have had to order it online. It would have cost $50 to ship.
Yeah, but that's why it's a wedding present.
I suppose. I
don't even know what the name of this place is, but I'm sure you can figure it out. It's the world's largest candy store, or Minnesota's largest candy store, or something.
It's in Jordan, Minnesota.
Yeah, it's bright yellow.
I've known about it for a long time, and I still refer to it as the world's largest candy store. I don't know what its actual name is, but
there's like an entire aisle of cream sodas, which I also love cream soda.
Oh my god, me too.
So.
Okay, we're going back because obviously I need to spend like $100 just on polar water.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do you have any other updates?
There are other updates. Oh, a much more important update for people who aren't us, for people who aren't sitting at this table, is that we are going to be at a podcast festival.
Hell yeah.
Come July.
Yep.
We will be at the True Crime Podcast Festival.
In Chicago.
It's in Chicago. It's going to be at the Sheraton on Mag Mile, I believe, which is a super nice venue. So kudos to them for scoring that, because that's going to be a great place to have a conference. Now, look, have they asked us to speak? No. Have they asked us to, like, I don't know, wave on a panel? No.
I'm pretty sure we might get a special lanyard that says podcaster.
Look, we're just going to be in attendance.
So we may do a meetup or something, maybe at a bar if there's anyone in the area.
If one of the 5 listeners is going to also be there, you know, we'd love to make you buy us a drink. That sounds great. So that's July 13th. The ticket prices go up at different dates. It's one of those things like Coachella or some shit. So the sooner you buy the tickets, the cheaper they'll be. That's why I'm bringing it up now.
Yeah, if you want to go to the actual festival, check it out. Yeah. It's the True Crime Podcast Festival. There's going to be a lot of True Crime podcasts there.
There's a ton of True Crime podcasts there. It's not Crime Con. That's like a whole other thing.
Right.
Nancy Grace goes to, and she's a dirtbag, so I don't care. But this is just podcasters.
Yep, and I think Gen Y is going to be there. I'm pretty sure Wine and Crime. There's a whole bunch of them.
Biggies are going to be there, and then us.
Yes.
Hey everyone. We also talk about UFOs and polar water. We've solved no crimes.
Have you guys ever done a seltzer water unboxing on your podcast?
That you were not paid to do? You had to buy the water. Have you ever done that? Do you know who Robert Stack is? Anyway.
We're the coolest.
So that's our big update.
Mark your calendars. As it gets closer, we'll announce details of maybe like where we're going to be one night at one time. If you're there, you can come say hi to us. That'd be super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
I think that's really the only update I had. I know over the past month I've thought of things where I'm like, oh yeah, I should say that, but
oh, for sure, me too. And my brain can't even hold any information right now. No. So sorry.
My brain is mostly Rage, and then Halloween when I'm taking a break from Rage because I'm channeling that into the only thing that matters to me anymore.
Yeah. So Unsolved Mysteries. This is episode 1 of season 3.
I'd say this episode is fairly good.
I will say right off the bat that this is going to be a good mustache season.
Oh, if you're watching Unsolved Mystery for the mustaches,
holy
hello
crap, you guys!
This episode is for you. This is gonna be your favorite episode.
There's a clear winner of MVM in this episode, but there are a lot of runners up.
I thought I drew like 4 mustaches. I wasn't sure which one you would like best.
Are you kidding me? The guy with the thing. What was that facial hair called? That I've now forgotten the name of it.
The one that's the chin strap.
Yeah. Well, it's not even chin strap. It goes through his cheek and attaches to his mustache.
It's like a high rise chin
Arthur
strap.
B. something.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I'm tracing it on my face.
Chester B. Arthur.
Which is a great thing for an audio medium. You know this.
It's called the Chester B. Arthur. Stop and Google it right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a compilation of the...
Here's my sketch.
That's
amazing.
I
called this mustache, we'll get to it in the thing, but I called it the bad idea.
It is a bad idea.
It was just...
For sure. But there are a lot of second place winners for mustaches. Anyway.
I had some terrain.
We will get there.
We're talking about mustaches we saw in the first segment of this episode, which is about the Kirksburg UFO sighting.
Oh, yeah.
In Kirksburg, Pennsylvania.
Or as I've come to refer to it, the sperm in the sky.
Sure. Look, women are having a hard time, and if they want to call things a sperm in the sky, you just let them.
Okay, also it looks like a fucking okay. The animation quality, this was a long time ago. We've come a long ways, but...
I stand by my statement.
Unsolved Mysteries.
If that's what you want to do, that's what you do. You find the things that bring you joy, and you hang on for dear life.
Yeah.
And if that's going to multiple apple orchards in one day, and then spending $90 at a candy store... That's what you do.
We support your decisions, okay?
Oh my God. I don't even support my own decisions, but thank you. All right. So it was December 9th. It was 1965. Life sucked even more than it does today.
If you can believe
If you can believe it, which my mind is really having trouble wrapping my head around that. Did you know that this was an unincorporated community in the Mount Pleasant Township of Pennsylvania?
Oh, was it?
It's located around Route 982.
Okay, I know exactly where that is. I drive past there all the time.
There's a ton of woods. It's wooded.
Okay.
All right. What I like about this is that Robert Stack introduces a segment. He seems to be standing in front of a haunted
Yeah,
castle.
where the fuck is he at the beginning of
is
this?
the
They have
spookiest-
cranked up the spookiness this season, you guys.
It is the spookiest locale we've seen yet. It's spookier than like a straight up haunted house.
Yeah.
I don't. It's lit like blue.
You know what? Okay, so
It's glowing with ghost glow.
Game of Thrones is always on my mind, so this should come as a surprise to no one. But it looks like the Hall of Faces, only like spookier. Like if you took the Hall of Faces in Game of Thrones and made it into a haunted house with like the fog and the blue lights, and then you put Robert Stack in front of it.
Yes.
It's spooky. They also cranked up the creep, like quote unquote, like creepy spooky factor in their like opening like role.
Yeah.
When they're playing, because they have like a shot of the woman who was doing the witch rituals in her husband's tool shed.
The negligee wearing witch Anne.
They have a shot of her. So they've really like leaned into the...
Sure. They're like, you're not just tuning in because women get brutally murdered, you sickos. You're tuning in because there's some scary stuff out there. Yeah. And some of it is paranormal.
Yep. So that's where we're getting to in the Unsolved Mysteries.
Robert Stack says, watch closely. You may be able to help solve a mystery. Oh, this is UFO? No. Don't think
call
so.
the tip line for this one.
Yeah, it was a sperm in the sky. You're welcome.
Excuse me, Unsolved Mysteries. I think that was just a giant sperm.
I mean, I'm sure they got calls like that. Those poor operators. Okay. As Robert Stack says, it's twilight. December 9th, 1965. A brilliant light streaked through the skies. That was my phone. Over Canada and the northeastern United States. 40 miles southeast of Pittsburgh.
Are we really going to call what... Okay, I'm sorry I'm hung up on this animation. Are we really going to call what they show in Unsolved Mysteries streaking? It swims like a sperm or a tadpole.
Oh my God, Samantha.
Come on, Unsolved Mysteries.
Getting married has just turned you into a horn dog.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I got my...
Nothing makes me hornier than unpacking an entire house. Constantly moving boxes. Trying to figure out where to put my fucking books. They're overflowing.
Oh, God. No, I feel your pain on that.
Nothing makes me hotter.
I knew it.
Sorry. We are off the rails.
Yeah, good. Okay. Hello, everyone.
Welcome to the Perhaps It's You podcast.
First podcast you ever listen to, and you'll never listen to another one. So two brothers are riding their bikes, you know, as you did, and they see something
This is a very Stranger Things moment, this whole
burning
segment.
through the sky. This is Rob and Ray Landy.
They're some cute kids.
And, yeah, they just see an object fly over them, basically.
Yeah, they're riding their bikes down a dirt road.
So this episode is combining this was a 2-part segment. There was 2 segments on the stupid UFO.
Yeah, it's real long.
The segment really drags. It's more than half the episode, or it's like half.
Yeah.
And I had to do all of it.
Yeah. Well, you also
And
got the
it
satanic
sucked.
arson mystery list, so stop complaining.
Anyway, Rob and Ray, what did they do? They saw a thing.
They turned around and raced away on their bikes.
Yeah, they got scared. And then another local boy named Randy Overly also saw it.
Little baby Randy was super cute.
He really
Adult
was.
Randy, much less cute.
Hey! True. But rude.
Okay, his mullet. Randy,
Okay.
you need a haircut.
Randy has a beautiful flowing mane of silver gray locks.
And a matching greasy gray
And,
mustache.
and some giant, some might say bug-eyed glasses. Those people would be jerks.
Little baby Randy, though, in the reenactment. His red
he's
hair.
a child actor. I
Yeah.
recognize that kid from somewhere.
And his little bib
Do
overalls.
you like my
so
little
cute.
sketch of grown-up Randy?
Oh, there's grown up Randy.
I called his mustache the "Of course he's on this show."
Yep.
It is very, it has a lot of terrain.
I'm telling you, a lot of good mustaches in this one.
And then I wrote down, was this only seen by children? Because all of their witnesses were just kids that were playing outside. But I realized it was the 60s, and when you had kids, you literally just, like, kicked them outdoors, and you didn't know where they went, and you did not care.
Yeah, this was, like I said, a very Stranger Things segment.
So he was playing in a creek, I don't know. Then 2 more kids were in a field, and they saw smoke.
I think that was the same creek where they shot the Magic Rock segment.
And then you see Robert Stack again, and he's, like, outside a haunted marsh that's full of crickets. I didn't even write down what he said, I just wrote down that.
I don't know
because he's
what he
standing
said
in like the pitch blackness in front of us. Yeah, scary looking blue glowing marsh.
Everything where Robert Stack is in this episode is blue and glowing and foggy.
Yeah, I mean,
leaning into that.
Good for him.
Good for him. Good for you, Robert Stack. That's where you want to be. That's where you want to live. It's fine.
Rest in peace. So then we cut to like a really cute retro-y kitchen that I want, and there's an emergency appeal on the local radio, and it's saying that an airplane has gone down, and if anyone has any information, they should call in. And some woman, what's her name? Frances Kelp, who is the mom of some of these kids that saw the object overhead, calls in and she's like, oh no, that wasn't a full airplane. That could have only been part of an airplane.
That was just a little airplane sperm. Sorry. I'm just going to drink my polar water.
So I take care of some children, and there's a lot of, like, butt and fart talk. And this is not, like, that different. That's all. Samantha's just looking at my judgmental face. I'm trying to do a serious podcast here, Samantha.
Okay, sorry.
About the sperm in the sky. And you keep interrupting me. Your nonsense.
Carry on.
Yeah, so Frances calls in, and she was... I'm not entirely sure how she knew this, but she goes, oh, that was not a full airplane because it burned up on impact and there was just smoke.
Yes, because her kids saw like a smoke plume in the distance.
Okay. This seems like she was very confident with her information.
Even though she didn't see it?
Yes. Where she was like, oh, no, that couldn't have been a full plane. It could have only been part of a plane, and I think it all burned out. Bye. And then Robert Stack was like... How do you know
so much about this, Frances?
And Robert Stack was like, she hung up the phone and immediately put it out of her mind. 3 minutes later, she got another... I was like, wait.
Yeah, they probably wanted more details.
Literally, in the span
like,
of
Frances,
3 minutes, she completely forgot.
Listen, Frances has 2 kids. She's got a lot to do.
You know what? Actually, fair. So they were probably hitting each other and shrieking as she was trying to make dinner.
Yes.
And then the fucking Navy calls and is like, if you have any information... Don't call the fire department, call us. And she's like, I'm supposed to call the Navy? And they're like, yes. Okay. Within 15 minutes, state troopers and 2 unidentified plainclothed government officials show up in her yard, and she points them in the direction of the smoke, which at this point has burned out.
Yep.
So they, like, wander off into the field. And the object crashed about half a mile from her home. So some search teams were called in to locate the actual crash site. We hear from volunteer fireman Jim Mays.
Is this the MVM? Is he the lead guy, or was that someone else?
Wait. Let me see. Oh, that's a great question.
You know I've posted his face on Instagram before.
I'm not sure how many Jims are on this fire department.
You know what? It's probably half the fire department.
That's okay. Also a witness like sees the crash site and saw that it was like blue flashing lights and that they were really bright and that it was not like the flashlights of the search team. I don't know. So the troopers go into the ravine and they're like looking around and no, that's a different guy. Different Jim.
They're both named Jim?
Yeah. We've got a Jim Mays.
Oh, yep. Jim Romansky.
James Romansky. And James Romansky is MVM.
Yeah, I just found him on Instagram.
Oh, there he is. In all his glory. So, 30 volunteer firemen are looking in the ravine. James Romansky, who has a bad idea of a mustache, is part of the search team. He actually finds the object, or is part of the team that finds the object. He describes it as being shaped like an acorn. Yes. With no wings or propellers.
Mr. Jim Romansky with a bad mustache is very serious, and at some points in this segment, like, kind of mad about it.
Yeah.
I kind of just wanted to be like, Jim,
you gotta calm down.
You gotta calm down.
It had markings on it that he correlated to ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics. And this is what he said. To this day, I have never seen anything like it. And then he talks about how he's studied. All right.
He first said studied, and then like a little bit later,
It was,
he
like,
kind of
looked
like
at.
looked
He claims
corrected
that he
himself.
studied the ancient Incas, the Aztecs, and the Egyptians. And he says, I've looked at pictures of Russian writing. I've looked at pictures of Polish writing. I've looked at pictures of Hebrew writing. Nothing. Nothing that resembles it. Chinese writing? No!
Look, he's looked at all the writing, okay?
He looked at
and he probably had to go to a library to find that
He looked
writing.
at a couple alphabets and then was like, well, this is clearly not of this earth. And also, I'm angry about it. God, there's a lot more languages than that. I'm not impressed at all. You could have done that with like a couple books in like 15 minutes. I realize this is pre-internet and you had to actually go to the library and maybe talk to a librarian, but
Yeah, come on.
come on. You just like flipped through a Chinese book and you went, that doesn't look like it.
It must be Egyptian hieroglyphs.
It must be alien language. On this weird, gigantic pod.
Acorn thing.
Yeah. So 2 government officials appear after James and his team find it and tell the firemen that that the area is quarantined and that they have to go. And it was like, thanks for your help. Now get the fuck out of here. We don't actually want you around. So within 3 hours of the crash, military personnel had set up a command center inside of the fire station. They restricted civilian movement within the area. I don't think the firemen could even be in their own fire station, which is weird. There was like 25 to 30 military people, they said. They also commandeered a farmhouse near the crash site.
Which, that was weird.
That seems illegal. Don't we have something about how you don't have to house troops? Isn't that like
I'm pretty sure.
It's not like a super important part of like being the United States.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Bill Weaver is also a witness, and he says that he saw men in quote moon suits carrying a 5-foot square box into the ravine. The reenactment of this is hilarious. It is literally just a plain white box, like something that would have had to be specially made. Like, it's not cardboard. It's literally just a gigantic white square that the government apparently just like has around.
That's their alien collecting box.
And then they like put it on a stretcher. And then Robert Stack was like,
how would you collect an alien?
Robert Stack was like, look, that's not big enough for the whole craft. So what did they put in there?
Or who did they put in there?
And I was like, nothing. This didn't happen. Also, I'm angry and I hate everyone and I hate everything. And these chocolate covered Oreos aren't helping.
Our skepticism level, which is typically just pretty high, is like it's off the charts.
My skepticism and my apathy level have really they're combined and
they've reached unprecedented levels.
Yeah, because if a UFO full of aliens crashed in Pennsylvania, my reaction at this point is so. And
have they come to cleanse the earth?
Yeah,
because it's about time.
Is it like those aliens in Independence Day, or are they gonna just do fuck all? I don't care if some aliens fell in Pennsylvania. What does it matter? Okay.
Are they gonna do fuck all?
Yeah. Thanks for nothing. You couldn't even fly your own spaceship. I'm not adjusting to the apocalypse well, you guys.
No, it's been rough.
Okay, so there's like a crowd watching them carry a plain box because it's the 60s and I don't know, TV wasn't that good, and the army comes and like orders these people away, and one of them was this like teenage boy in like a Letterman sweater. That's how you know it's the past. And he was like trying to argue with the army, like, why do we have to leave? Because he's 19 and he's a white dude and he doesn't think that's a bad idea. And then they like threatened to arrest him or something, and he was like, oh shit. Ooh. Oh, I think they threatened to take his car, probably his one pride and joy.
Yeah, something.
He was like,
that.
I need that car to bone in. No. So he left.
How else am I gonna cruise?
I need to cruise.
That's what they did, right?
At least when I was a teenager, I don't know if this is still true, but the suburb of Naperville, Illinois, had all these, like, no cruising signs still up. That's what people in Naperville tell me. Is there still metal signs that talk about the cruising laws? I need to cruise! Just let me! Why is that so fun to say?
I don't know.
I'm losing it. I lost my goddamn mind. Okay. Whoa, so Mr. Bad Idea Mustache saw the military carrying a large object on a flatbed. So he thinks they came and they got that stupid acorn thing, that butt plug of a spacecraft, and they put it on a...
Oh, you were mad at me for calling it the sperm in the sky, but you're saying that a giant butt plug crash landed in Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
I mean, it did look like that, but...
Yeah.
Double standards on the Perhaps It's You podcast.
So true. So true. I give myself a 1-star review. Okay. So he sees an object covered on a tarp on the back of a flatbed truck being moved by the military. What was that? Nothing? Something?
Alien craft.
Who cares? Oh, God. All right. So we hear from Stan Gordon, who's a local researcher who's talked to a lot of witnesses and should probably do something else. And he says that astronomers have concluded that it was a bright meteor, which is called a bolide, which like moves very fast and like burns very bright. But he's tracked the sperm swimming of the thing, and it turns and it glides in. It glides in slowly. So he doesn't think it could be a meteor, you stupid scientists.
No. Take that. Bolides can't turn.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that.
And the firefighter dude thinks that it was a space capsule. And was it space debris from NASA or a foreign government? Official records don't line up. Clearly it was a UFO. And I wrote down, my guess is that it was a satellite.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It's just a guess. I honestly don't care. And then there's all too much footage of people speculating what it is. And I swear they're speculating slowly on purpose.
Yeah, this segment was so long.
And then you hear from some guy named John, who when he was 10 looked out the window and he also saw the government moving a thing on a flatbed truck. So he corroborates that.
It does seem like the government came in and took something away.
Yeah, we hear from a lot of people that were basically told by the government, like, get out of this area. I'm assuming it's either space debris or a satellite. It's something like proprietary?
Proprietary.
Yeah. I can't say that word, but that's what I mean.
Yeah, I think so.
It's like, it's something valuable. It's something...
That the government wanted back.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Doesn't necessarily have to be alien. I asked our resident alien expert, Rob Christofferson from the Our Strange Skies podcast. He's in our Facebook group. He's a fan of the show. What he thought that it was, and this was his answer. He thinks that it is a military project of some kind. There are some claiming that this was a General Electric Mark II re-entry vehicle. It must be for astronauts to come back from space. I think
Good job, General Electric.
The main proponent of this theory is a racist piece of shit, but it's possible. So
maybe that was the one thing he was right about.
No, maybe.
But it sounds like he was wrong all the time, so...
Probably not. So Leslie Keene actually sued NASA for files they had on it in the mid-aughts, but...
This segment claims that there's no, like, NASA records that line up with this date. I don't think it would necessarily have to be... Just for the government to retrieve it, I don't think that means it has to have been from NASA. I think like it could be a corporate satellite or something like that, and they would still go get it.
Or they were talking about how maybe it could be like a piece of Soviet space debris or something, and that's why they came in and took it, and that's possible.
There's just a lot of junk that's been left in space.
Yeah, some of it's going to crash down to Earth sometimes.
Yeah, so I'm guessing it's that. This hieroglyphics thing... It's not like he's even it's not like he has a sample of that writing to compare it to. He's comparing it to his memory, like, while he's getting yelled at by the military in the dark, in the woods.
He clearly went into this thinking it was this alien spacecraft, and who knows?
He just doesn't seem like the language expert that he claims to be.
Jim Romansky.
Chinese writing.
He looked at some Russian writing, Liz.
And Polish. Even the Polish. He was acting like that was like,
they write in symbols.
It was like really out there. So xenophobic, firemen aside, I don't think that means anything. or that was necessarily writing or whatever. It seems like there was something. So I'm going with satellite. I don't know. Or just other space junk.
Yeah.
I don't think it was like an alien craft driven by a drunk, stupid alien that's not willing to help us.
There's really no evidence to suggest that it's alien other than the small box that the government took out and the apparent writing that one guy with I don't believe anyone with that kind of facial hair. I'm sorry. You're making questionable decisions in life. I don't believe a word you say. So
it's true.
Otherwise, it was just something that fell from the sky.
Yeah.
And they got anything. It could be part of an airplane. It could be, whatever.
Yeah.
So,
agreed.
Was that the end of your mystery?
That was the end. Surprising because they took you what felt like 5 hours to tell that story.
And somehow there's still 3 more mysteries in this episode. They pack them in here. I mean, this next one is not exactly a mystery.
Sort of an update. It's Unsolved Mysteries giving itself a pat on the back, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, we start out with Robert Stack talking about how, Unsolved Mysteries has reunited Lost Loves, and you all know by now that we are a big fan of Lost Love Mysteries, so we're on board.
We've become fans of the Lost Love segments.
Yeah, this segment is called The Daughter of LeVar Bates. So LeVar Bates was interviewed in an update about the capture of murderer John Mooney.
Which, if you remember that case...
Yep.
Do I right now? Can't say that I do.
I remember the name.
Yeah, which one was that?
I honestly don't remember. John Mooney.
Mm-hmm.
Who did you kill, John Mooney? I don't remember. Okay.
But you never forget a name like that, do you?
No, yeah. Mooney. So LeVar Bates was interviewed for the update segment on the capture of murderer John Mooney.
He was interviewed saying, I can't believe he's a murderer. He just doesn't seem like... He seemed like such a nice, normal guy. They interviewed a few of his coworkers.
Yep.
Just for a very brief clip saying, who would have thunk it, And this was included in their 3rd anniversary special.
Which I don't think we've seen. Although we saw the John Mooney thing, so...
I'm sure it's been, re-edited into these Amazon episodes. So someone watching that saw that and recognized this dude.
Right. So he had a daughter named Kimber Tice that he never knew about. And she was watching the Unsolved Mysteries episode, and she knew his name. And she didn't know how to find him because this is before the internet. And so she was like, oh my God, that's my dad. And then we get the backstory of how this whole situation came to be. So in 1958, 22-year-old LeVar fell in love with 18-year-old Peggy Atwood of Pampas, Texas. LeVar worked in construction and was temporarily employed in Amarillo. Every weekend, LeVar made the 60-mile drive, which was an hour, to Peggy's home so that they could spend time together.
He drove pretty fast.
Yes.
Anyway.
They spent a lot of time cruising.
This episode is all about cruising.
Peggy did say, because they interviewed her for the show, how much she liked riding around in his car. He had a convertible, whatever.
That reenactment is both so hokey and also so adorable of them just driving, being teenagers, driving around the road on the convertible, and she's got the neck scarf and the sunglasses. I don't know.
It was really cute.
It's
it was also
something out of Grease. It's
hilarious
so
to me that what my thought watching this was he drove an hour to go drive with her. He drives an hour to go see her and they spend the time driving around. It's just funny to me. I'd be like,
that's what they like
butt
to do.
Hurts from sitting in this car. So several months after they met, Peggy drove to Amarillo and made a surprise visit to Lamar.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't
tell people you're coming over.
Yeah. Well,
the interviewer and me seriously begs you. I don't want you to show up unannounced.
Please don't. Yeah,
no matter how much I like you.
While there, she saw a picture of another woman on his dresser.
Ow! Fifi.
If it actually occurred like it did in the reenactment, it was a little suspicious. It was a large picture and it was stuck on his mirror in a prominent place.
I actually wrote down I'm with her being mad about this.
Yeah, so she was.
There wasn't a picture of her.
No.
There was a picture of some other woman named Fifi.
Named Phoebe. And it was a large picture. She seemed very beautiful. But yeah, so she was like, what the fuck is this?
He's in the bathroom. He opens the door half shaved with his shaving, and then he kisses her. And I was like, ew. Dump him for that. But then she goes inside and sees this picture of another woman. named fucking Fifi.
And he claims it's a woman he met at a coffee shop once or twice.
Yeah.
And he has a picture of her on his mirror.
Look, I don't know if they were exclusive or what, but anyway,
It
she
kind of
was
seemed
like,
like they were.
You're two-timing.
Clearly, she was under the impression that they were.
You're two-timing me with this Fifi hoe.
Yeah, that's
and
literally
I'm
what she
out
said.
of
Well,
her.
she didn't say the whole part, but she did go, "You're two-timing me, aren't you?" And then he goes, "I'm not two-timing you," and it was really funny. So she storms out furious, and at the time she
I'm
had,
with her.
Yeah, and then his company transferred him the next day. And this was before you could just look someone up on Facebook. So he was gone. She had no way of contacting him. And the next day, she found out she was pregnant. Or it wasn't the next day. Shortly thereafter.
He gets transferred, and I think within the next month, she finds out she's
Yeah,
pregnant.
she finds out she's
but she
pregnant.
doesn't have a way to get a hold of him because he hasn't left a forwarding number because she was pissed at him and had to leave for work. And I don't know. She doesn't have a way to track him down through his work or whatever.
Yeah, she didn't know she was pregnant. So then... Yeah, LeVar's company transferred him to Colorado. He and Peggy never saw each other again. 8 months later, she gave birth to a daughter named Kimber. When
You
she
notice what the name isn't?
Fifi.
Yeah.
That'd be weird if he named her Fifi. It was like the guy in that one episode that like named his new daughter the same name as his old daughter.
Nope. Not acceptable.
Just as weird as that. So, and Kimber's whole life, Peggy made it clear to her that this was your father's name. This is what happened. You know, this is why.
Well, she's watching the thing, and then she contacts Unsolved Mysteries to find out if he's willing to have a relationship with his daughter, which he doesn't know anything about. It's been 30-something years.
Yeah, he had no clue. So the case was never actually featured on Unsolved Mysteries. The update occurred on September 19th, 1990. That's when Kimber saw the broadcast. And on July 4th, 1990, Peggy... it was Peggy who was watching the rebroadcast.
Yeah.
She recognized LeVar. She contacted the telecenter and was put in contact with LeVar, who now lives in Phoenix, Arizona. He's married and has 2 children. LeVar and Kimber spoke on the phone shortly afterwards. And on August 10th, they were reunited at Kimber's home in Amarillo. Sadly, LeVar died on May 25th, 2001. Unsolved Mysteries flew her out to meet him, and the reunion is super cute.
They make a big deal of being like, we paid for that plane ticket.
Oh, yeah, for
so
sure.
Savor every minute of that. It did seem sweet, and like a lot of these Lost Love segments, people seem like very open when talking, and they still don't... How does Unsolved Mysteries get people to bare their souls?
I don't understand, but it was super adorable and very serendipitous that, he was just on Unsolved Mysteries.
Like such a short little clip, but it had his name, and she was like, oh my God, that has to be him.
Well, and Unsolved Mysteries was just like, you're welcome. We solve mysteries we're not even trying to solve.
Yeah.
So.
I want to know that. Well, first of all, I don't know if he didn't know he had a daughter. I don't know that he wanted a relationship with her, but they seem to get along all right. Mm-hmm. I hope they got it. He had like a decade more of life. I hope they got to spend some time together if that's what he wanted.
I hope so. He had 2 other kids, so I'm sure he was excited to find out that he had this daughter. And Kimber seems super nice. So he seems like a jolly fellow. He has a nice mustache as well.
Yeah, and he said that meeting them like wasn't awkward.
Yeah, it didn't look awkward.
No.
So.
But I really wanted to know, was he two-timing her with Fifi?
I'm pretty sure he was.
I really think he was.
Because she lived an hour away.
Yeah.
So he wasn't expecting her to just show up.
Yeah.
So I think he probably was two-timing her with Fifi.
LeVar, do better.
I assume he did. I assume he grew up and changed his two-timing ways.
He's quite young.
Yeah.
It was just like a cute little thing. I don't know.
It's cute.
So yeah, Unsolved Mysteries, solving all the mysteries, even
when they're not trying.
Even ones they didn't know about. Okay, now we have a Wanted, and it's awesome.
Yeah, the next segment is fantastic. This episode really has it all.
This is why we do this show, for this Wanted segment, because it is a fucking satanic arsonist.
Hell yeah. Also, it is kind of actually creepy.
It's also really creepy. So, Robert Stack says each year in the U.S., more than 200,000 people become the victims of arsonists.
What?
There's no way that's true.
There's no way.
What? Then you would have to know someone. Like what?
There's just people running through the streets like that movie, The Purge, just setting fires to every house.
He's basing that statistic on The Purge, I think.
There's no way.
Each fire is an individual tragedy. In many cases, victims are left not only homeless, but injured or dead. Guess what, Robert Stack?
This is dead fucking serious.
If someone's dead, they don't give a shit if they're homeless. That sentence is terrible. In many cases, victims are left not only homeless, but injured or dead.
As if homeless is a fate worse than death.
Yeah, that's horrible. Anyway, so this case takes you inside the mind of an arsonist. On August 15th, 1989, near Stockton, California, a car overheated. A man that's being identified as Joseph and not by his real name for reasons I don't understand pulls over to look at his car. Him and his son are walking to a payphone to call for help, which is a thing used to have to do, kids. Because I'm an old grump. When they okay, this is weird. This is weird, and I do not recommend this. Even though I take things from, like, that are left on the curb, like pieces of furniture? Yes. But would I probably look at this? Yes, but it's not a good idea. So they find this camo jacket on the side of the road that has things, like, wrapped in it.
Yeah, there's body parts in there.
So there's some heavy metal music, though I don't...
Heavy metal music?
But I don't trust this show to identify music as heavy metal. But there is also...
Say it ain't so.
Yeah, it was the Beatles. I don't know. They never say what kind of music it is beyond that. But there's also...
The work of the devil.
The work of the devil.
Heavy metal music.
Yeah.
You don't even need to say it.
The devil.
We all know.
You know when the devil makes music and you're like, it's kind of okay, I guess. There's a blank VHS tape, and they decide to take it home and play it.
This is the worst idea, you guys. This is how you get cursed 7 days later.
First of all, yeah, this is The Ring. Also,
do not do
I
this.
think if the reenactment is accurate, that the whole family sat around to watch this. They are so lucky this is not homemade porno.
Or worse.
Or worse. I was like, that's how you find creepy porno.
Yeah.
But it's not
this
porno.
This was a more innocent time, I guess.
But, surprise, surprise, everyone, it was not of a pornographic nature.
Which, that's the biggest mystery of all. How was that not what that was?
Isn't that what everyone in the 80s bought camcorders for, it turns out? Not, like, videotaping their kids? Yeah, kinda. So, anyway, it was being used by an arsonist to record his fire. So they're just sitting there like, oh, what's this tape? I hope it's bootleg Bambi. And then it's actually a fire and a guy going like, hey, you see what I can do? I can make it burn. I'll burn.
That's a great voice you just did.
What am I doing? He's saying things like, this is beautiful. Look at it. Look at my thing.
But it's a much more whispery voice than that.
It's much more whispery, and it sounds sort of like a child trying to sound like an adult. It reminded me, I'm sure Samantha won't know what I'm talking about, but if you watch Trailer Park Boys, it seems like if they made an episode where Bubbles goes evil and starts burning things down. That was kind of the voice, if that's helpful to you.
It's not helpful to me, but...
I can't do it, but it is creepy.
It's very, I'm sure you can find this on YouTube.
But you also do get the sense that this is not an adult or someone not in their right mind.
Definitely not. And also, can you imagine being that family sitting around to watch this?
I just
what
think
if they had all the lights off? They were like, all right, this is going to be good.
They're fucking lucky that it was a satanic arsonist. That was what was on that tape. I think they should thank their lucky stars for that one. And the voice also refers to Omar a few times, but they don't know who that is. So these are good people who turned this into the authorities. And the authorities analyze the tape and you can't really tell where this is.
No.
It's too grainy to get identify the fire department from the trucks or anything like that.
It's a very low. I think considering they identified some pretty helpful things about it, like it's a huge fire. They could tell it was a construction site based on some things in the video.
Yeah, there was like one of those white trailers that are usually the like construction head, office or whatever. Mm-hmm. And there wasn't really anything else around. There was no evidence of like people getting hurt or anything. Like there was not an ambulance or anything like that. So they're like, maybe this is new construction, but we can't really tell like where it is. And it was found near these major highways, so really it could have come from anywhere. They had, quote unquote, Joseph take him back to where he found the tape, which I just feel like it must have been hilarious to admit, like, oh, I found this jacket by the side of the road, and inside of it was a VHS tape. And I said to my young son, we shall take this home and we shall play it.
What? You left out one thing they found with the tape.
Well, oh yeah, and the heavy metal music. So they go back.
Well, and the herb grinder.
Yeah, they go back, and the policemen find a pestle, like a mortar and pestle, and Robert Stack says, as is used to grind herbs for satanic rituals.
Fucking
Okay.
oregano. Like,
I have one. I got it at IKEA. Sometimes you just need to grind up some spices.
you're not using it for satanic rituals?
Oh, I will
Liz?
now. I didn't know. I didn't know it was for cool shit.
That's not what it is on the IKEA label.
I used it just for cooking, like a sap. There was also, found nearby, a ceramic skull.
What?
Also, he does make a couple references to hell in the... Okay, there is satanic panic playing into this. It's not 100% satanic panic. It's maybe 90% satanic panic.
Yeah, he says some like things about the devil.
The thing's burning and he goes, hell, I call it home. The whole key is the black with the smoke. Or something like that. He just say some weird kind of shit that sounds like it might be to the devil. So the mystery was, where the fuck was this fire?
And who was this person?
Who
Because
was
they
this
probably
person?
said it.
So they were appealing to viewers of Unsolved Mysteries. Can you tell me the location of this fire? Because we can't figure it out because we're dumb. And so people saw it and immediately called in, and it turned out it was in Redwood City, California. And those calls actually led them to identify a 17-year-old and a 19-year-old who were involved in the fire, and both ended up being tried as minors. One went to juvie and one went to a mental hospital.
I think the craziest part about this update is that they found another video, which the fire department took, because it was like such a big fire that sometimes the fire department will take out a recorder. I think they still do this today, and they'll like record, like to use as training.
Yeah.
You know, they'll record like their guys going in and how they fight the fire or whatever.
I think it was a good ones use an example because it was a really big fire. And also it was a fire where like no one got hurt. So they didn't have to like
Also,
worry.
there wasn't that, like it was a building that was being built, so like it was bad that it burned down, but like there wasn't people's valuables in it.
Yeah, there's
insurance will cover it or whatever.
Yeah, like as arsons go, it was like harmless-ish.
Right.
Like there's not other things around that could catch on fire. There's not people they have to worry about or whatever. So the fire chief or someone sets up this camcorder so he could record the fire. And at first I was like, oh, it's him. It's one of those cases where the fire investigator or the fireman is the arsonist, which that's happened. But no, it turned out.
That'd be fascinating.
They didn't say exactly how, but in addition to getting tips on the location, they also got tips that led them to these two teenage boys. And then they ended up being tried as minors, which just guessing from the voice on that tape is appropriate.
Yeah, I think so.
I hope they got the help they needed.
I just really hope so.
Because...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That person is not well.
That person's not well. And they seemed very surprised that Unsolved Mysteries was so successful solving mysteries. They were like, we were hoping we'd get the location, but we didn't think we would immediately get two suspects. And I was like, you doubted the power
of Unsolved
Mysteries. When I grind my spices to Satan, I also say, all hail Unsolved Mysteries and your untold powers. All right, that's a 1-star review right there. I think that is all I have for this case.
Now, when I said that this episode had everything, I meant it because we also have something that will bum you the fuck out.
This is terrible.
Yeah, this is our last mystery. It's pretty short. This is the mystery of Marlene Santana. So here's what happened. Marlene Santana was the infant daughter of Francesca and Thomas Santana. She was born on October 18th, 1985 at Brookdale Hospital. 3 days after her birth, Francesca was preparing to bring her home when she met a woman outside the nursery. The reenactment of this is quite creepy. Unsolved Mysteries does a good job of selling it because through the nursery glass at her daughter, and this woman comes up and starts asking or saying you have such a beautiful baby.
She's like complimenting. She's like, you have the prettiest baby in the whole nursery. Your baby seems like the quietest. Your baby seems like the best one.
Yeah, and it's like, why are you spending so much time looking at my baby?
Yeah, it's like, why are you here? Are you looking at a different baby and then you're like, my baby's better? But whatever.
It's one of those things where you're like, yeah, everyone comes up to you when you have a baby and tells you how cute it is. So it's like, okay, and she's proud of it.
She's flattered. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, I do have a fucking cute baby. Yeah, she's the best one in there. So
I agree. It's weird you do, but whatever.
Yeah, so according to the Unsolved Mysteries wiki, the woman told her that Marlene was the most beautiful, quiet, and well-behaved baby in the nursery. A few hours later at 9 p.m., Francesca and Marlene left the hospital with two of Francesca's sister-in-laws. As they went through the entrance, the woman from earlier came up to them. She pulled out a gun, put it to Marlene's head. Marlene is the baby. and told the women to walk.
This is like right outside the hospital. And she just walks up
literally
and
in
like,
the entrance.
Where have you been? This woman she doesn't know. And she's like, I'm going home.
Yeah.
And then she pulls out a gun on a baby.
I know, it's horrible. So the assailant led the women to a junkyard 6 blocks from the hospital and threatened to kill Francesca if she didn't give her Marlene. She gave her the baby, and the woman escaped into a waiting car. Marlene has not been seen since. So police believe that the woman might have been mentally disturbed and unable to have a child of her own. She's described as
That was always why was that such a thing at the time? Like, women who can't have children are gonna like go
be mentally disturbed.
Yeah,
and steal
are gonna
babies.
go on kidnapping sprees.
Listen, this is a thing that happens where people, like pregnant women, will get like attacked and someone will try and like steal their baby, which is horrible, but it is so rare.
Yeah,
That
it's just weird.
It's like not even a blip on the crime radar. And yeah, just because you can't or don't want to have a baby does not mean that your brain's gonna break. Although
I did steal several babies today, but that is anecdotal evidence.
I mean, this woman did put a gun to a baby's head and steal the baby, so chances are she might be mentally.
It's a weird case. It's just that them saying like, "Oh, she probably couldn't have a baby of her own." I was like, "You don't know anything."
Yeah, you're making a lot of judgments. Okay, so she's described as 5'2" and 130 pounds and between the ages of 24 and 30. She was Caucasian with Hispanic features, but had no accent. Her accomplice's car was a white 1976 Chevrolet Malibu with red lettering on the door.
Beautiful composite police sketch we have seen yet. She looks like a Duran Duran album cover. It has all of that 80s glamour.
Yeah.
You know that you still see those like window decals in nail salons of the like very 80s woman holding up one hand to tell you can get your nails done. It totally has that short hair 80s glamour
Here
vibe.
it is. I got it right here.
So delicately wrought. It's the best sketch we've seen yet.
I mean, yeah, she has very strong features. That hair, it's like a power haircut. I really love it. I mean, I don't love that that's the woman who stole a baby, but
Let's just appreciate the sketch as a work of art.
It is a work of art. They also did a composite sketch of what they think Marlene would look like as a 3-year-old, and it is a good sketch. I don't know how accurate it might be.
I'm guessing it's based on other members of her family, but that's totally a guess. They were just like, this is how old the baby would be today.
It does kind of look like a generic 3-year-old.
It's just like
a bowl haircut.
Yeah, have you seen a child? And I was like, yes, but I don't think that's who you're looking for. This is very sad
because it's unsolved.
Because you're waiting. This is the case where you're like waiting for that update.
Surely they're gonna find the baby
minutes after the broadcast, and no.
Yeah, so Marlene is believed to have been sold for adoption by her abductor. There was a similar abduction that occurred at another New York hospital several weeks before this one, but police were unable to find a link between them. I don't know why they think that Marlene was sold. They don't know anything about what happened to her. The case first aired in January 1989. But yeah,
at one point the mom
unsolved.
is like, I just know that
else.
someone knows something, and I refuse to believe I'll die with never seeing my baby again.
They
horrible. Celebrate her birthday.
Yeah, I was
going to
say that the opening to this segment was a children's birthday party, and at first you're like, oh, this is adorable. They're blowing out the candles. Yeah, it's for a child that was abducted. They celebrate her birthday every year, and this is like her 8th birthday or something, or maybe her 3rd birthday. I don't know. It was terrible.
I may or may not have cried myself to sleep after watching this. Was I
the
already
punch in the gut that we didn't need?
A terrible day and chocolate covered Oreos weren't helping? Yes, but this was not what I needed. Unsolved mysteries.
Nope.
I didn't need to go, oh, that's right. There is no justice in this world.
Yeah, I feel terrible.
Oh God,
Marlene. I hope she had a good life and Marlene's family.
Marlene grew up to murder her attackers like Arya Stark.
Yes, that would be.
I hope that was her destiny.
I hope so.
Let's rate this episode.
Okay, so we have our categories.
What the hell are they?
Mysteriousness.
Okay.
I had to think for a second as well.
I don't know that the UFO one is that mysterious.
Not really.
Your second one's not that mysterious. The third one's not that mysterious. And the last one is mysterious, but it's so sad that the sadness factor really outweighs the mysterious factor.
I think I'm a thumbs down on the mysterious for this one. The reenactments were decent.
Shrug.
I mean, there weren't anything to write home about.
Am I just a bitter old lady now? It's going to take a lot to impress me, reenactments.
Yeah.
No, they were just fine. They weren't special.
At best, I'm a thumb sideways.
Yeah.
Fashion. I mean, if we're talking about the hair,
the sketch.
Oh,
no,
that sketch was good. If we lump in like the mullets and the mustache with fashions, then it's a thumbs up for sure. But typically we're just talking about clothes.
Yeah,
and I don't really remember anything.
Really remember anything. So, thumbs down.
Yeah, and then Robert Stack.
Oh, because he's by a haunted castle, thumbs up.
Yeah, I think they really improved. The
lighting is just it. Yeah, it's like a Halloween carnival ride. I don't know where he is, but it's even better than that. It has this real gothic flair.
Yeah, this is what people
in literal Transylvania.
This is what people think of when they think of Unsolved Mysteries. Is Robert Stack in the trench coat in one of these locations?
Yeah, so thumbs way
This is iconic for sure. And overall, what would you rate this episode of Robert Stack's? If this is your first episode, we rate every episode on a Robert Stack scale. We can give it a possible 0 to 5 Robert Stacks.
Okay, I have to look deep within my soul. I'm saying 3.5, 4.
Okay, you're as high as a 4, maybe? I was thinking 3.
All right, let's go 3.5.
I mean, you can rate it whatever you want.
No, because it was a little... the reason I would rate it
I like
lower,
the arson mystery, though. So that is... Maybe I could go 3.5 just for that one.
I think the arson mystery is really good. The Lost Loves is kind of cute, and it's like nice to throw that in there. The kidnapping one is so freaking sad. But the UFO segment is just too long.
It's way too long.
So otherwise, I'd be like, this is a solid episode, and you get a variety, and you get a little of everything, and it's nice. You get some crime, you get some paranormal. You
get some great mustaches.
You get great mustaches.
Great
yeah, you get a little trip to the past, whatever. But that UFO thing just really drags.
Yeah, it was way too long. We didn't need to hear from every single person that saw someone in military fatigues in that town.
Yeah, and I guess that does make you go, okay, well, clearly it's something.
Yeah.
But it's too, I feel like they just take their sweet ass time telling you. I was riding a bike along the lane, and then the kid was playing in the creek, and he went, it's just like, oh my God.
Yeah, it was too much.
Who is more boring, these aliens or you? Yeah.
All right, well, that wraps up
3.5.
That wraps up the season premiere.
I feel better going into season 3 than I did when we started off. The beginning of season 2, we were like, what?
I think season 3 is going to be better than season 2. I feel it in my bones.
And also, it has to be because we need something to cling to in this horrible, unjust world.
Yeah.
Did I look for the Australian Starburst gummy worms for you at the candy place? I did, and I didn't see it.
Oh, God damn it.
But I didn't ask. But I also feel like all the teenagers that work there wouldn't know. Does that make sense?
Well, there's a lot of candy there. Yeah. And if they weren't impressed by your polar seltzer water purchase, then they're not going to know.
It was just kind of chaos.
I'm down to go back because I'm going to need more of this.
Should we try one of these other waters?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, which one do you want? I'm going to try the dragon one.
I'll try the Yeti one.
Okay, this is Dragon Whispers.
I'm trying Yeti Mischief,
It's just giving me some Game of Thrones vibes. I like it.
So I don't have a real recommendation for this week, even though I haven't talked to any of y'all in a while. I was going to talk about some of the Halloween-y stuff I've been doing. How is it?
Dragon Whispers is delicious.
What makes it like a dragon?
I don't even know what flavor this is. You have to taste this and tell me what you think it is.
I recognize this flavor,
this
but
tastes
I can't.
Like Airheads to me, like the red one.
I can't recall it.
It might be cherry. Dragon Whispers might be cherry.
Okay, yeah, I think that is cherry.
I have no idea what Yeti Mischief is, but it's delicious.
Come here, Yeti Mischief.
I need more of this Dragon Whisper. It's so good.
So a few of the things I've done to really live my best fall life is I went to the town of Anoka, which is now my favorite place.
The Halloween capital of the world.
Yes, Anoka, Minnesota, which if you want to listen to our Halloween special from last year, we talked a bit about Anoka and how they invented trick-or-treating.
We mentioned Garrison Keillor in it. Don't add us. We know this was before the whole thing.
Yeah. Also, yes. That they invented trick-or-treating to stop kids vandalizing stuff on Devil's Night, which is actually super duper smart. So they have claimed the title of Halloween Capital of the World, and I went there with some friends to do their ghost walk.
And now that my life has calmed down, I need to go back there because it looked delightful.
So cute. I realize this is like a very local recommendation, but I just have to include it because it was freaking adorable. It's put on by their historical society, which seems like very involved, and they literally just walk you around town and tell you which houses are haunted, and based on stories they've heard from people in town and people coming to the historical society to research their house.
If you're in the area and need something to do on Halloween, apparently it's a really fun place to be the night of Halloween.
It was just like really honestly adorable and like heartwarming, if that makes sense.
It does, yeah.
And they were just like funny little stories about things that had happened, supposedly by ghosts at these different and you're like literally just walk up to the house and it'll be like, oh, in this house a kid held a cookie behind their back and when they pulled it out there was a bite out of it. It's stuff like that. There's a ghost that supposedly rings a doorbell and then you go and ring the actual doorbell.
Oh my god, doorbell. It's any ghost that rings sex bells.
No.
That we know of.
Though, well, they're keeping that to themselves. I have already decided that what I want to do is move to Anoka, buy one of these haunted houses, get all my friends to move to Anoka, buy haunted houses, and then when the tour comes around, we'll pretend to be the ghosts.
Brilliant.
This is what I want to do in old age now.
Yes. This is our retirement plan.
Along with becoming a wood witch and solving mysteries. I think
we can do both.
Yeah, totally.
What are you going to do the other 11 months of the year?
Yeah, so I'm going to pretend. Oh my God. I'm like honestly so excited just thinking about it. And also it's just like a cute little town. They have tons of antique stores. And because it's a Halloween capital, they kind of like specialize in Halloween stuff. So there was a lot of old Halloween stuff. Now, it's not cheap. And I'm a cheap bitch when I'm not buying a ton of candy. So I didn't really get anything, but it was still cool to like look at stuff and
check out our Twitter if you want to see the picture of the Halloween sign, the Halloween capital of the world sign.
And I did get an Addams Family puzzle while I was there, so that's kind of exciting. Not really, but what else have I done?
The pumpkin thing at the zoo.
Yes. So Minnesota Zoo, which I have never been to before. Sorry.
You've never actually been to the zoo?
No.
Oh, we have to go there in the summer sometime.
Annie looked at me like...
It's like one of the best places in the world.
Annie was like, I haven't been here in months. And I was like, I've never been here in my life.
I fucking love the Minnesota Zoo.
Well, look, I'm a transplant. I'm sorry. I've never been to the Minnesota Zoo.
Okay, number one thing we're going to do in the spring is go to the Minnesota Zoo. I love it so much.
But this year is the first year they've organized this jack-o'-lantern spectacular. And I just randomly saw on Facebook, because I've literally been trolling Facebook events looking for different, I'm not kidding at all, looking for different Halloween stuff to do. And this came up, and the picture looked like sort of cool, but also like, I'll try anything Halloween at this point. So we went the first night, because I didn't want to wait. And it was a beautiful, magical experience. Samantha didn't get to go, you guys.
It looked incredible. Liz is probably going to go back. Although I've heard the lines have gotten really long.
So that's what I have to say is that, so we went the opening night. It was raining like a tiny bit. And we got there like right when it ever opened and no one knew that much about it, I don't think. And also it was a Thursday. So there was not that many people there. So it was just us wandering through this trail completely covered in jack-o'-lanterns. There's like mountains of jack-o'-lanterns. There's jack-o'-lanterns in the trees. There are jack-o'-lanterns that are like really artistically carved. And the theme was like a travel through time or something like that. So it takes you on this like, you know, whatever. Like through
it looked out
time.
Of this world. The pictures was really cool. The pictures probably don't do it justice, and they are amazing.
No, because it's just like a completely immersive experience of just cute or amazingly made jack-o'-lanterns. It had this just like sort of magical... What it did for me is, now that I'm like so wholeheartedly devoted to Halloween, is I finally get why people get so much into Christmas, which I've never understood.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I was like, oh, this has such like a warm, lovely feeling. This has such like a magical, like, I feel like so content and happy and almost like childlike.
Yeah, exactly.
Walking along this thing of jack-o'-lanterns.
That must be what people feel
at
Christmas time.
Oh, this is why people like Christmas. But I feel that on a trail full of jack-o'-lanterns. Anyway.
So I understand because it looked amazing. I would
wholeheartedly recommend that, except that we've heard from people now that it's like a 2-hour wait. Like even if you have tickets to even get to the part where because there's kind of a walk through the zoo to get to where this is, that like the line is so backed up that it'll take you 2 hours to even get to the part which makes me think they're selling way too many tickets.
And I have heard that that's like been on the weekend, so maybe if you went during the week, it wouldn't be as busy.
We could try. It's only $15 on Thursdays. I don't know how much it is on the weekends.
We'll have to see. I do really want to go, but also the Minnesota Zoo is kind of a ways from my house.
Yeah.
So I would love to go. We'll have to see.
I'm hoping that it's so successful. And I feel like this might be a thing where they like hire a company to like come make this exhibition for them as like a moneymaker on their off season. I realize I'm talking like...
Wishful thinking.
Do you know that I have a degree, a certificate in museum studies? Anyway, I do. So I feel like this is the sort of thing where you hire a company to make you. I don't think the zoo themselves like put this all together.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And it's the first year that they've done it, and it seems like it's been really successful. So I'm hoping they'll do it in subsequent years, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, because it looked honestly amazing.
It was really, really cool. There's like music and smoke and
the jack-o'-lanterns, the like artfully carved ones. I saw like a Harry Potter one that looked amazing. There was a Prince one. There was all kinds of like
stuff. Yeah. There was a couple alien ones, so I took pictures of those and put them on Twitter because that seemed like on brand.
I love the like alien evolution one.
Yeah, that was weird.
Bizarre.
So I like literally it's like from the beginning of time.
There's like little human fetuses on it.
They like start with like, you know, Earth and dinosaurs and whatever, and then when it gets to the part where there's going to be humans, it shows a monkey's face screaming, a DNA, an alien, and then like a human embryo. And I was like, what are you trying to say here, Zoo? I don't know. There was also one that said antiquity, and it had a UFO shining on Easter Island heads.
Amazing.
And that, despite not being the point of this, I feel like I have to go on a rant about the idea that UFOs created ancient structures, particularly the pyramids, is super racist.
Oh my god. Have you... Yes, I'm going to plug one of Rob's recent episodes. I got to look it up so I can tell you the specific one, because he has someone on who is an archaeologist.
Yeah.
And who talks about this very thing. And I was listening to this episode, and I actually sent him a message on Instagram because I thought it was so good.
I need to listen to that because it's really been bothering me lately for some reason. Not some reason. Why is it bothering me lately? I don't know. I guess because we talk about UFOs.
So I'm going to plug Rob Christopherson again. He has the podcast Our Strange Skies, and it's 3 episodes back, and it's the episode from September 8th, and the episode title is This Is Some Next Level Shit.
Okay, cool.
And it's an interview with his friend who is, I believe, an archaeologist, and they talk about this very thing, about how all of these theories of ancient aliens are super duper racist.
Yeah, the idea is like, well, white people couldn't figure out how to build this, so therefore no one could, therefore it must be aliens.
Yeah, and it's this idea too that like, I'm not going to get this as right as they did in the episode, but that like, when you're talking about brown people, like, they're like, they couldn't have come up with the pyramids themselves. They must have had an alien force bestow the knowledge upon them. Because how could, when it's like, when it's a monument that brown people made, it's always like aliens gave them the information. If it's like a monument or some sort of structure that white people made, it's like the aliens worked with them or some shit like that.
Interesting.
Like there's just and it's like there's tons of other like reasons why these theories are racist, and they talk about it in that episode. I highly recommend it. That'll be my recommendation because I don't have one. Go listen to that episode. Go listen to Rob's podcast because it's great. But specifically, I really love that episode.
No, I'm glad that me randomly talking about this pumpkin led to that. Because
these are the roads we go down.
As a show that talks about aliens sometimes, I think that's something that we should bring up. It's just
people do not talk about that enough.
It's white supremacy is everywhere, everyone.
Seriously, we can't escape it.
That is such a good example of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is only like tangentially related, but I always found it interesting how sort of like white culture never understood why Mayan pyramids and monuments are in the locations that they are until like a year or two ago. A fucking child like took a map of where they are, like in Mexico, Latin America, and overlaid on top of that their constellations. Mm-hmm. And it was like, oh, that's why.
There it is.
A fucking child could figure that out. Like, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, oh, it must be some forgotten mystery. Like, yeah, it must be alien, whatever. And I was like, actually, if you actually thought about their culture, this would make perfect sense.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway.
Or if, the Spanish and fucking killed them all.
Yeah.
Maybe there would be some remnants of their society. Maybe
it wouldn't all be a mystery if they hadn't been completely
eradicated by smallpox. Okay.
Yeah. Little side note.
Everything is dark.
Everything is dark. It's terrible. If you're in the area, the other thing that I've done is I took a tour of Lakewood Cemetery.
Something else I missed.
On a trolley, and the trolley driver looks like the spirit of a trolley driver. Like, he couldn't look more like a trolley. He wears a little hat, and he looks like Mr. Rogers with a beard. And it costs $5, and they ride you around the cemetery, and the cemetery is fancy as fuck.
I've always wanted to tour Lakewood.
Well, we'll go sometime.
We will for sure go sometime.
The tour itself, whatever. If you're really going for the trolley ride, and to see incredibly fancy monuments and know that you cannot afford to be buried there.
Oh,
that was
for sure not.
That was my reaction.
Yeah,
They also have like a ton of rules. It's like the whitest cemetery.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like not like literally. It's not segregated or something. It's nonprofit. I'm sure they're nice people.
Do
but
they
it's
make
like,
subtle not so subtle jabs at Soldiers and Pioneers like our favorite tour guide Sue does at Lake to
Nope.
Lakewood?
Sue has the personality you want in a tour guide, but there's no trolley.
Yeah.
And it's also not super fancy, right? This is like the opposite of that, where it's like very prim and you get on, like it's very organized. You have to leave at a set time and
You can't touch anything.
yes, exactly. Yeah.
That's lovely.
But it is cool, and they have a beautiful chapel there with like a mosaic dome, and I guess they have concerts in there sometimes, and I don't know, just look into their events, or if you want to go to one a tour. It was a cool place. It's just like, the total opposite of what we're usually talking about in a
Come to
cemetery tour.
Minnesota, y'all. We got some great ideas.
Yeah, for everyone else. I feel like no one in Minnesota listens to the show, so none of these recommendations were helpful for you, but that's how we're starting off season 3.
Yeah, I mean, this is fine. And I'm just riding the coattails of Liz's recommendations because I've been doing nothing.
Actually,
except unpacking for the last 4 weeks.
Samantha's recommendation is don't buy a house.
Definitely
and
not.
also listen to Rob's podcast. And actually I'm just thinking this right now. I'm going to add a tab to our website. Give me a couple weeks for local stuff.
Sure, that sounds great.
Since we have recommendations we already have, if you go to our website, www.perhapsitsyou.com, on the information superhighway known as the World Wide Web, you will find our recommendations tab, which has all the books Samantha talks about, podcasts we like, other random things, polar water, whatever.
The Wet and Wild makeup.
Yes.
All of the random shit we've recommended.
I still stand by that Flights of Fancy collection. They've had a couple more since that been like, Flights of Fancy. So good.
For sure.
Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, that's where our recommendations are. I'm going to make a separate tab for if you find yourself in the Twin Cities or you live in the area or whatever. Local stuff we think is great, like Sue at Soldiers and Pioneers Cemetery.
That sounds like a great idea.
So that's how we're going to end this episode, I think.
I think so. Let's plug our shit.
So, I already told you about our fabulous website, but you can also find us on some of those newer fangled types of
those
internets.
social medias.
The social medias.
The Twitters,
the mediums.
the Facebooks, the Instagrams. Our Facebook, we have a Facebook page. We also have a Facebook group. We're much more interactive on our Facebook group. Go join it. Perhaps it's you. We talk to you. We share some things. Sometimes you get some sneak peeks that everyone else doesn't get.
And our Twitter and our Instagram is also Perhaps It's You. If you wanted to email us, perhaps you have a paranormal tale yourself. Perhaps
please send it in.
Saw the sperm in the sky. No, I guess if you did.
If you saw some
might
sperm
care.
in the sky, please don't tell me the story about it. That's something I want to hear.
Well,
I
Samantha,
don't want to know what you were doing.
Samantha, maybe you should have brought it up 20 times. That's Perhaps It's You podcast at gmail.com. Ignore all those earlier episodes where I said it wrong.
Check out our Patreon. You can get a bonus episode every month and also some other goodies.
Yeah.
That's patreon.com/perhapsitsyou. We have not decided. Have we decided what we're doing next month? I don't think we have.
Okay,
Next month, October.
Did. So our newest Patreon episode, I don't know that anyone cared, but that was the Fox drama Millennium.
Oh, yes.
At the time that premiered, that was Fox's most watched thing ever, but no one remembers it. That's what we talked about. And in that, I suggested, hey, what if we watched the first thing of the X-Files? Actually, makes a lot more sense. Except they just took the X-Files off Hulu.
Oh, okay. So now we need another idea.
Yeah.
So send us your suggestions if you're a Patreon or whatever. Tell us what you might want us to watch. Things we've watched in the past include things that are totally unsolved mysteries adjacent, like unsolved like
unsolved mysteries, like In Search of occult crimes, like
kitchen nightmares,
like some other thing. And also
we watched a thing about Bigfoot. What was that? I don't remember.
And also The Ghost Report.
Oh, Mothman at Point Pleasant.
We Believe in Mothman. And oh my god. I'll save it for next week. Oh no, we're done.
Save it for next week. Save it. All right, guys, we're going to drink the rest of this polar water and try and forget the world. So have a good one.
Thank you so much for your support. We really appreciate people who are excited for us to be back. You've all been really patient with us taking a little break, which you should be because this is free, but thank you anyway. And to all our patrons, we love you. We couldn't do this without you. And
go out and solve some mysteries, bitches.
Do it!
Bye.